Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin has just broken below an important line of support, while the stock market is experiencing a short-term pullback. This will be important for Bitcoin holders to pay attention to, but just before we get into that, let's take a quick look at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, and just giving you a quick recap of what's been happening if you've missed my recent Bitcoin update videos over the past 2 days. The shorter-term Bitcoin chart, like the 4-hour chart, for example, has been showing some more bearish signals. For example, around 2 days ago, when the Bitcoin price was right around here, we're looking at this short-term downtrend that was forming in the Bitcoin RSI, and also the short-term bearish trend that was forming in the 4-hour MACD. And so it makes sense that we are playing out some short-term bearish price action after seeing those short-term bearish signals over the past 2 days. But if you're looking at where the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI is sitting at right now, we are very close to oversold territories. In fact, we briefly entered into oversold territories just a moment ago, but we definitely still have some work to do in order to flip this 4-hour chart back into more of a bullish chart, because if you're looking at the highs, for example, we are forming lower highs, and also in the lows, we are forming lower lows. So technically on this 4-hour chart, we are trending to the downside. And as I discussed yesterday, this is also the case in the 12-hour RSI for Bitcoin, and now this is the case in the 12-hour price for Bitcoin. And something else that I was talking about yesterday was, of course, the 12-hour parabolic stop and reverse indicator flipping into the red. And I know some of you might not like to hear this, and I might even end up getting some dislikes because of this, but yes, in the shorter term, we are looking somewhat bearish. But I want to make it clear that this shorter term price action does not change the bigger picture on the larger timeframes, which I'll be talking about later in the video. Now taking a look at the Fibonacci levels on the daily Bitcoin chart on the linear scale, and only just yesterday, we saw a daily candle close below this previous 23.6% Fibonacci level, which was coming in at around 41,500. But so far at the time of recording this video, Bitcoin is finding some short-term support at around 39,500, which if you have been watching some of my other Bitcoin update videos, you would know that I was expecting some short-term support at around 39,500 if we broke below that $41,500 level first. And while we're here on the daily time frame, I thought I should give you a quick update on what's happening with this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Now, as I said yesterday, if we can quickly see a bounce at around these prices and head back to the upside towards around 45,000 within the next few days or so, then in a scenario like that, we could technically still play out this inverse head and shoulders pattern. But if we spend too much longer down towards 40,000, or especially if Bitcoin continues to head lower than 40,000, then in that case, it would be safe to say that the formation phase of this pattern would be invalidated. But I want to make it clear, this type of pattern should not be traded until we at least complete the pattern and see a breakout above the neckline. So even if we do see a decent bounce at these prices, we still don't confirm this pattern until we break above that neckline at around 45k approximately. And now just giving you a quick update on the 4-day time frame for Bitcoin, we have just seen another 4 daily candle close, confirming another green dot in this 4-day parabolic stop and reverse indicator. And in case you are new to this channel, this is obviously a bullish signal for Bitcoin on the larger time frames like this 4-day chart. All we need to do is look at what's happened at all of these other time periods where we've seen this indicator flip into the green, and more often than not, that results in a larger uptrend in the Bitcoin price that lasts for at least a few weeks, but up to a few months in length. And as I said earlier in this video, yes, we are looking bearish in the shorter term, but even though we're playing out this short-term bearish price action, that still hasn't changed what is happening on the larger time frames, at least as of right now, because in order for this indicator to flip into the red again, we need to break below these green dots, which are right now sitting at around 34,000. So basically, if the Bitcoin price can form a low anywhere above around 34,000, then like I said, according to indicators like this, which historically have been very accurate, we are still leaning more bullish on the bigger picture here on the larger time frames. And now taking a look at one of the main reasons why Bitcoin is experiencing some short-term bearish price action, and that is because the US stock market is looking more bearish in the shorter term. This chart right here is the S&P 500 index on the 4-hour time frame. And first of all, if you're bringing out the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high down to this swing low so far, we saw a perfect rejection, in fact a double top at the exact golden pocket, the most important Fibonacci range. And on top of that, we are also forming a head and shoulders pattern on this 4-hour time frame, which is technically a bearish pattern. But if you're bringing out our trend-based Fibonacci extensions from the all-time high down to this swing low and then back up to this swing high, currently at the time of recording this video, the S&P 500 is running into this 38.2% Fibonacci level, which is sitting at just above 4.3k. And if the S&P 500 breaks below that important level of support, technically speaking, that could increase our probability of of sweeping the lows again, which is where the golden pocket is sitting at on these trend-based Fibonacci levels. And for the beginners out there that are wondering why the stock market and Bitcoin even have any correlation, and to answer that, it's because of a couple different reasons. One reason is because of human emotion. If a lot of traders and investors are panicking in the stock market due to bearish price action, then it's likely some of that panic is going to flow over to crypto. But apart from that, more of a logical correlation between the prices in the stock market and the prices in crypto is simply the fact that US stocks and Bitcoin are most commonly valued in US dollars. So if a lot of investors and traders are selling stocks, they're usually selling into US dollars, which increases the value of dollars, because while that is happening, the demand for dollars is increasing, and therefore, if the value of the dollar is increasing, that usually means Bitcoin against the dollar is decreasing. And we can see what's happening in the US dollar by looking at the US dollar currency index, and here we are on the 2-day time frame. And ever since the beginning of May 2021, the US dollar currency index has been trending to the upside, and for the majority of that time, the Bitcoin price has been somewhat bearish against the US dollar. The most bullish times for Bitcoin during that time period was basically during August and October, and if you're looking at what the US dollar currency index was doing during those months, we were actually seeing some short-term pullbacks in the US dollar while Bitcoin was looking bullish. So basically, the US dollar currency index and the Bitcoin price have close to an inverse correlation, which means if the US dollar is going to the upside, that usually means Bitcoin is looking bearish, and if the US dollar is going to the downside, that usually means Bitcoin is looking bullish. And over the past 1 week approximately in the US dollar currency index, we have played out some bullish price action, which is one reason why we're currently seeing some short-term bearish price action in Bitcoin. But for any of you Bitcoin holders out there, we actually have a good sign for us here on the US dollar currency index on the 2-day time frame, and that is this bearish divergence that has already formed between the price and the RSI. So basically, if this bearish divergence simply continues to play out, and if we see some more bearish price action in the US dollar, then that would likely kickstart a further recovery to the upside in the Bitcoin price. But remember, this is talking about the much larger time frames, not the shorter term. Please make sure to leave a like down below if you found this video useful, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. And before you click off, I've got 2 videos popping up right here that show you ways to make money in the crypto market, whether or not prices are going up or down. But anyway, that is it for this update. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.